Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ismail Mohamed and let's go ahead with our topic. But wait, before jumping into the topic, let me help you to understand the concept of control mechanism in a simple example. As we all know, antibodies fight disease-causing bacteria and viruses in our body. They also act as a control mechanism to protect our body. Similarly, control mechanisms help Islamic banks to achieve their objective accordingly in compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Control mechanisms for Islamic banks are divided into two major parts. They are internal controls and external controls. Internal control is the process effected by an organizational board of directors and management, while external control is the mechanism that are implemented by external bodies such as regulators or required by the legislation. Internal control include preventive control such as segregation of duties, access control, and data backups. Detective control such as physical inventory count, and corrective such as training and staff awareness. In external, regulator may require all Islamic banks to conduct external Sharia audit. Some internal control unique to Islamic banks include Sharia review function, Sharia audit, and Sharia risk management used in order to ensure compliance with Sharia rules and principles. Major prohibited elements in Sharia include riba, gharar, maisir, and jahala. The banking system in Malaysia and Bahrain is based on dual banking system. Malaysia has 16 Islamic banks regulated by the central bank, Bank Negara Malaysia. In Bahrain, there are 14 Islamic banks regulated by Central Bank of Bahrain. The law effective for Islamic banks in Malaysia is IFSA 2013, while in Bahrain it is CBB FIL 2006. Regulations applicable to internal and external control for corporate governance in Malaysia are Companies Act 2016 and Corporate Governance Policy Document issued by Bank Negara Malaysia, while in Bahrain it is Corporate Governance Framework offered by Central Bank of Bahrain. For risk management, Risk Governance Policy Document have been issued by BNM, while in Bahrain it is the Central Bank of Bahrain Rulebook Volume 2 on Risk Management. For Sharia Governance, Policy Document on Sharia Governance and Orion Policy Document have been issued by BNM, while in Bahrain it is Central Bank of Bahrain Rulebook Volume Number 2 on Sharia Governance. According to IFSA 2013 of Malaysia, in the occurrence of any potential Sharia non-compliance event detected from the Sharia review function, qualified Sharia officer should immediately notify Sharia Advisory Council of BNM and Sharia Committee of Islamic Bank and immediately stop the Sharia Non-Compliant Act or any related affairs. Within 30 days, Sharia Committee of Bank should come up with a rectification plan to be reported to Sharia Advisory Council of BNM. The law also states that any person upon conviction who contravenes, commits an offence shall be liable to imprisonment for a term not more than 8 years or a fine not more than 25 million ringgit or subjected to both penalties. This is a very important and serious preventive control mechanism for Islamic banks in Malaysia. In Bahrain, the central bank does not centralize the decision-making process concerning the Sharia compliance issues of individual banks like in Malaysia. Sharia Supervisory Board should notify the central banks of Bahrain in case of any failure by the board of directors to effectively deal with any major Sharia non-compliance of the bank. Looking into the industry for Malaysian Islamic banks, Afin Islamic Bank Malaysia Berhad implements separation of position of the chairman and CEO to eliminate conflict of interest. Sharia governance functions include Sharia review on continuous basis for Sharia compliance, internal audit on periodic basis, and Sharia risk management. For corporate governance, the bank's internal audit provides independent and objective assurance on the adequacy and effectiveness of internal controls. Risk management functions have been implemented by the bank as required by the regulator for risks such as credit, market, operational, and liquidity risk, technology risk management control, technology failures, and cyber threats that may disrupt business safeguards that are incorporated in computer, hardware, and software. Whistleblowing policies safeguard the bank's reputation by minimizing unfavorable surprising events in relation to improper conduct. Other controls include access, authorization, and staff education and assessment processes. Looking into the industry for Bahrain Islamic Bank shares similar control mechanism except for Sharia governance, where it conducts an external Sharia audit. The bank also receives customer complaints through the Quality Assurance Department. Major differences in control mechanism include: for Sharia non-compliance reporting, Malaysia has a structured regulation through Orion, while Bahrain has less structure. For regulatory control, Malaysia is more centralized compared to Bahrain, and for Sharia supervisory control, Bahrain has less interference than Malaysia. Sharia standards for Malaysian Islamic banks use central banks rulings, while in Bahrain use AOFI Sharia standards. Bahrain also mandates external Sharia audit function, while Malaysia does not. In conclusion, both countries have applied superior control mechanisms for Sharia compliance and managing the corporate effectiveness of banks through enforcement of legislation and regulatory interference. The success stories of Islamic banks in both countries could be due to the robust control mechanisms as mentioned, nonetheless with several differences. I would recommend Malaysian Islamic banks to implement external Sharia audit function, and for Bahrain to centralize and enhance the Sharia non-compliance reporting structure. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you have gained some knowledge from this video. Barakallahu feekum.